Hello everybody, just getting started here finally, feels like finally, for another Summit der Langrisser stream. You know the drill by now, I'm just going to quickly get set up. The players are, actually, finally, these players are ready to go, raring to go. They've been trying to get me to stream for the last few minutes, so let's oblige them with a stream. And then I will quickly discuss why I'm laughingly saying finally. But let's get the stream set up first and foremost. That's the main thing we're here for. This is going to be a Summit der Langrisser match, Season 11, Top 64, so this is the first round of the elimination round. So we have the group stage, the top two advanced from each group, which left us with these remaining players. And tonight's game is going to be TjAce versus SaintJacques. Okay, good. Both players are here. Both players are ready, so... Moondoggy, first in line for the show. You must have some insider tips on what kind of box or what kind of comp SaintJacques is going to be playing tonight. So the players right now are currently rolling their map in the Summit der Langrisser Discord. They are getting ready to play, and yeah, excited to be streaming this one finally, because the last two games that I was signed up to stream for you all, one of them was the Valabar versus Newbie match, and Newbie slept in, so they had to reschedule their match. That one is going to be late tomorrow. And then the next match I was supposed to stream was Onasi versus Loomis yesterday. And Onasi forgot about the match and didn't show up at all. We were all sitting waiting here. So they rescheduled that one, I believe, and that's going to be sometime this weekend, not 100% sure when. So finally, third time's a charm. Old Kong signed up to cast yet another Summit der Langrisser match, and this time both players are here and ready. So, all we need to do now is wait until they actually start the game. Oh, I better double check just to make sure they have spectate mode on. Because if they both have spectate blocked in their options, then I won't be able to watch the game, which means no one will be able to. And that would be very anticlimactic, but in keeping with my luck casting these matches. So I'm going to assume, I mentioned in the Discord to make sure spectate is on, going to assume they're just currently in the process of inviting. Otherwise, we'd have a little eyeball icon show up here, and that is how we would spectate. Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. Good, it seems like we're in good shape. Absol, welcome to the stream. Moondoggy, all you know is that he asked to cast Leaden. Okay, interesting. Well, we know from main court, at least, that you have a very strong turtle setup available, if that's the direction he decides to go. So let's take a quick look here. They have initiated their first game. On the left, we have SaintJacques, who is playing on Moondoggy's account currently. And the reason for that, one of the reasons for that, is that Biomo, his brother, is also in the tournament and wanted to play his own account. So SaintJacques had to look for another account to play. Moon, I forgot to look. Did you register under the Cliff account, or you forgot that you were able to do that until after the registration deadline, didn't you? So on SaintJacques' side, we do have... we have a Hilda Lightbringer Landius combo with just Rosen as the healer, so 3 tank, 1 healer setup, which I've seen a fair few players using this season. The Rosen Seal getting banned first, regardless, and SaintJacques getting to pick that Zerda 2 first. So that is pretty much the gambit of this kind of 3 tank, 1 healer setup, is if the opponent decides to ban out someone from your tanky formation, like your Rosen usually, then you can open up with a strong DPS like Z2. Otherwise, if they ban Z2, you can pick the Rosen and guarantee yourself a Rosen and tank combo. So it's kind of a nice little opening gambit. Both players getting Z2 first. TjAce for his side looks like he's playing more of the traditional meta box with just the Lightbringer as a tank, and everything else looks pretty standard in here other than Oboro, who's pretty much in there to help bust turtley comps, just in case SaintJacques wanted to go that way. So already we're seeing SaintJacques getting a really strong combo here with Z2 and Watham. This gives him the ability, especially as player 1, to charge across the map with Watham and then teleport up to him with Z2. So regardless of what happens, whether he wants to play that opening or not, SaintJacques definitely has a 1-2 combo punch up his sleeve. And TJ already using a lot of his backup time during ban pick here to think about exactly what he wants to ban out. He decides to opt for Lucretia rather than something like the Watham. It's also interesting to see no McLean in either box. Emma Zero, hello, welcome to the chat. Thank you for the follow, and hope you enjoyed the Spanish ad. I don't know, are you Spanish? I'm not Spanish. So the algorithm is putting in some work there. Oh, that's right. I remember you donating, Moon. That's awesome and generous of you. Okay, SaintJacques decides to go for the Lucretia as his third pick, and Ace going with Annie. Annie, definitely a fine pick. Very strong against, like a Gintoki, for example. He may also be hedging against one of these possible tanks that SaintJacques will possibly be picking, although I can't imagine him picking a tank in this scenario. Those are kind of leftovers of a different ban pick lane for him. Oh, I guess, yeah, he gets left with 1. So maybe loading up on magic DPS just helps TJ be assured that he can burn down that tank if necessary. He's not really got any guard ignore here, so, I mean, at the very least, if he's not full AoEing down SaintJacques' team, he's going to have to go through the Landius at some point. And yeah, TJ has, similar to how SaintJacques was left with 2 tanks, TJ is left over here with 2 healers. Both healers decent options. Liana brings the Act Again potential as player 2, which is decent for helping to get an extra action without burning turn priority. Rosenseal also a pretty good option because she would help protect against Watham stacks, for example, and any potential incoming AoE like via Lucretia. Fenorion, I'm assuming you're wishing me a happy Friday and not just being happy that your Friday was really long. Dr. YOLO, welcome to the chat. Good to see everyone turn out for the first match that I'm actually able to stream for a while. Welcome to the chat, Straw Lake. Yep. We've got two good players here. SaintJacques has not had a lot of experience playing in Global. He just kind of came over from SEA servers at the tail end of last regular Apex season. But that said, he has a lot of experience playing Apex in general over there, and he has spent the last like half a season just doing an absolute shitload of scrims. So he's been playing in casual a lot, he's been scrimming people a lot against good players. He's also piloting a very strong account. Moondoggy's account has lots of built characters, lots of great enchants. So he's been able to cover a lot of ground and build up that experience and knowledge base really quickly. To the point that I think I give SaintJacques the edge after ban pick going into this match. The Landius, it does kind of stall out TJ's ability to kind of burn down his units from range a little bit, because he does have that incidental guarding option. He also, as a backup faction buff for Epsilon, just in the event that Epsilon's faction buff gets stripped via any sneaky Tenyos or anything like that. Yeah, at this point I think TJ basically has to go full AoE. So we do have the Watham here poised for a turn 1 fly in and snipe, although it looks like he gambled on the wrong side. You kind of have to pick one side or the other. I mean, I guess he can accelerated aid him with the Epsilon, so that's a possibility. And yeah, we do have Black Hole, we have Black Hole here, and of course Matthew with the faction buff and his own AoE. Zerda, a potential AoE option as well, and then of course the Act again. Interesting to see, though, that Lucretia didn't go full AoE. She does have the Reaper there, just to give her the ability to burn someone down quickly if need be. And Valandius also is giving the ability to SaintJacques to move into position to engage a little bit more quickly as well. The threat of the Watham here will kind of prevent TjAce from moving up into these spots that Watham can hit immediately. So TJ's kind of going to have to hang back and let SaintJacques get into position in the first turn. Hopefully the game sounds alright. I was set up, as I mentioned, I was set up to stream Loomis's game yesterday, so I didn't really have to tweak any settings. Yeah, okay, so TJ, feeling safe and comfortable, moves the Annie up a space, which definitely puts her into the danger zone. And there's the accelerated aid on Watham, just like what we were expecting. So Annie, Liana currently, even the Golem, although I don't think that's as high priority a target given that Watham can reach real units here. And once he goes in, we still have him holding Zerida's action as well, so she'll be able to teleport in. Okay, so that all that remains really is to see what 2 units SaintJacques is planning to kill. Okay, here comes the Watham first. Uses the sword to block the teleport portal as well. That's probably not going to come into play right away, but it's just a mean little move. Okay, so Annie goes down, predictably enough. Watham probably not going to... Yeah, Zerda can just teleport here as well if she wants to. So she has access to pretty much everyone on TJ's team. including this Zerida. Yeah, Span, the sword doesn't block the teleport in, but it would block like the teleport back if you wanted to use that portal to get away or something like that. If you can't stand on the portal, you can't use it. But TJ doesn't really have any retreaty characters here anyway, so that doesn't really matter. Okay, so this Zerida should probably be focusing on TJ's Zerida, just to get that, yeah, other DPS off the table here. She also won't revive, because Zerida's 3C prevents a revive, so that is no returning Zerida for TJ. And this is pretty much going to be the game. And there we see the threat of that, not just the 1-2 combo of Zerida and Watham, but the threat of any combination of units like that that can charge in and reach on the first turn. Just devastating. So that is a quick game 1. And we're going to hop back in to catch up for game 2. So TjAce drawing player 1 this time. And interesting, he is dropping his Oboro for Christian. So he did get to see the box that SaintJacques has decided to play is not ultra turtley, so he must feel like he doesn't need that Oboro for this particular matchup. Welcome, Captain. Okay, and this time TJ, it looks like he's going to try to play a little bit more comfortable. He's getting his Lightbringer out first. And he is immediately banning that Watham when he sees the first pick Zerida, so he does not want to enable that combo again. Yes, Ama0, comments going over to YouTube, and YouTube comments coming over here to Twitch as well. Thanks to the bot. It will look like it's a Restream bot saying everything, but it does tag the cross-posted comments with your usernames as well. Okay, SaintJacques does get the Oboro out this time. So knowing that he's probably going to be able to... Okay, he's bringing Polyol as well. Creatures. TJ with Gin, though. Yeah, I see there's a little minor debate going on in the chat about what TJ could have done in that last game. And it's a tricky situation. It was a tricky situation because even if he had moved his team back to stay out of range of that opening salvo, then he's in a rough position kind of on the back line where he kind of has to deal with SaintJacques' play the next turn. It gives him a little bit of an ability to get into position to launch his own attack, but it was rough regardless. Okay, so SaintJacques getting Landius as his tank again. He goes ahead and secures him 4th this time, partly because he can faction buff Polyol and Oboro, and he did want to make sure that he got a tank to kind of help Oboro hide and get charged up and get ready. SaintJacques using the early pick Oboro here as a response to the Lightbringer pick, so he's going to be a later gameplay to make sure that he can safely ignore that guard rather than have to go through it. So he does have the tank, but he doesn't have any true healer other than her incidental healing and IBC's incidental healing. SaintJacques, for his part, also has a tank, and just some other excellent heroes as well. Second time we'll get to see Epsilon. Yeah, Loomis, we saw the first ban Rosen in the first game as well, and I basically think that is TJ falling for the 3 tank, 1 healer setup here. He sees that SaintJacques has 3 tanks, and he basically doesn't want SaintJacques to get Rosen with a tank, regardless of who that tank is. That's the only rationale I can think of for that early ban of Rosen. Moondoggy in the chat in a very interesting position here because he gets to watch his overpowered units showcased with some nice popcorn and soda in his hand. No stress of having to actually be the one to do it. Excited for us to see his Oboro in action? Give us a sneak preview, Moon. What's your Oboro build? Standard bulky full moon build? Okay, so we do have the double AoE on Lucretia this time. We've got mass resist here to help immunize the rest of the team against stun for when that Polyol decides to execute her 3C. And we have Lancers on the Gintoki, Lancers on the IBC. Probably because TJ saw that Landius was running double cab last game, so he's slightly ready for that now. We also have full AoE on the Annie as well. Well, let's see just how thick this is. He's already parked on the forest down here, getting ready to transform. Getting tucked away nicely under Landius's aura. Oboro's exclusive helm, that comes out with the Grenshield update next week, doesn't it? I thought it did. And we should also be getting the last 4 new troops next week as well, so there's going to be a lot to purchase. Not during the Grenshield update. Okay, maybe it's coming during the collab. I know it's soon enough anyway, it's this season. Oh, IBC gave the movement buff to the Golem and Annie. Lucretia picks up a Tenyo Breeze anyway. Okay, and SaintJacques is going to make TjAce go through all the motions of slowly coming in, of approaching that Polyol. The come get some gesture. TJ slowly approaching, also spreading out a bit. He wants to make sure his entire team isn't smoked by that poly. Although he hasn't cast mass resist on his team yet either. Opening up a portal. Nice portal down here to help approach, but unfortunately not really going to be able to do much to take advantage of it because this Landius is here. So even if you sneak through the portal, your job is going to have to be to kill Landius. We don't have any guard ignores on TJ's side. And you kind of don't want to send AoE units in one by one via the portal. Other than, I guess, Annie can go in and AoE bomb and then teleport back, but that's just one AoE. That said, I guess SaintJacques does not have a healer on his side, so something is something. So yeah, I think rather than kind of charging in and trying to fire off one potential move, it's not really going to change the game for TJ. He really just kind of has to get his team in, which... it's tricky when you're being zoned. Even if this isn't the stun threat, lots of potential damage there. Yeah, she certainly can remove the portal, but even then, like, my point is that the portal's not really doing too much for TJ right now. Yeah, you're right, Loomis. I think part of the problem is TJ's nervous about the approach. I mean, SaintJacques is obviously very ready here and expecting TJ to be the one to be aggressively pushing in, given the fact that he's backlined his entire team here. He does not want to get caught. This poly did not bring guard. Okay, Polly gets the accelerated aid there. So she could basically open whenever SaintJacques wants. We still do also have Zerda in reserve, who hasn't acted yet. Much like what we saw last game with her ability to teleport forward to the Watham. Thanks to that extra life of Polly, once she goes in, Zerda's pretty much ensured to be able to teleport to her and hit someone. So yeah, my only point about Polly not having the guard skill on is irrelevant once she does move in, but while the units are back here hiding, it's kind of the only time TJ's going to get to see them out of guard range. They're back here, away from Landius. The problem, of course, with TJ's units is he can't get that far in. Yeah, the question right now, Amma, is going to be how much of a catastrophe is this poly going to give us for TJ's side? Now, the other thing is the psychological game. After TJ basically losing game 1 on positioning is... he may be more nervous, like, this open position playing back here from SaintJacques is basically inviting TJ, it's putting all the pressure on TJ to be the one who moves and commits. Okay, and SaintJacques is keeping Zerda for his last action to possibly respond to a TJ play if he wanted to come through the portal with that IBC and set up something next turn. But yeah, it's certainly possible that TJ is over-stressing himself about positioning here. Okay, so he just moves forward with the IBC. And now, what are we on, turn 3 here? So the ground is more or less closing in. TJ with his turn priority here. We're gonna basically see if he's gonna pull the trigger. It has to be soon. The question for TJ is, what is he pulling the trigger on? He is going to, looks like, go for Epsilon here. He's the only unguarded unit that IBC can reach. And SaintJacques biding his time. He doesn't need to respond to that immediately yet. He still has a couple actions that he can burn. Like, for example, he knows this Oboro is just standing there regardless. So wait and see how the situation unfolds. Wait and see what else TJ presents him with, and then basically decide what you're going to do with this Zerida. But if all else fails and TJ doesn't do anything else too surprising, then this is pretty much just an Epsilon for IBC trade. Gin is kind of getting himself into position for this IBC's death. When she dies, he'll be juiced up and able to act again. Okay, so TJ's just going to soften them up with a little AoE in here. This is going to throw the golem forward, though. That is a problematic teleport. I mean, I guess he can run back to Lightbringer. Okay, not the end of the world. Those kinds of incidental teleports always terrify me. So still relatively safe. Just a little bit farther away from Lucretia. He doesn't have his own swap up right now, so he can't use that to bring her way forward next turn. Okay, and now we're down to the Poly and Zerida on SaintJacques' side, so we are going to get to see what exactly he wants to do here. Alright, SaintJacques going to be patient. Still sitting on this Zerida. Although it looks like IBC's probably going to be her only real target. She should be able to... Actually, what's this cooldown here? That is her otherworldly space. That's adding portals, isn't it? So she should be able to move onto this portal and AoE and teleport back. And then if IBC does die, then Gintoki will get to act again as well. Okay, Zerida using Air Slash to stay nice and safely back here. Unfortunately, this Zeraball is going to be erased by the fog next turn, so that isn't a huge help. That activates the Gin. And the only thing he can really hit right now is Landius. Okay, and it looks like Annie is going to go for this teleporter play. Yeah, Loomis, Annie only brought AoEs. But you're right, that would have been a nice play to come in, move again, and then snipe from afar. Loomis talking about this passive for the extra damage reduction after going through portals. Yep, never hurts to bring an extra single target DPS just in the event that this exact situation presents itself. So Zerda still has her 3C up. She's not horrendously debuffed. She is hurt, though. Yeah, this is what I was thinking, is he was debating whether to AoE with Gin, and he does go for the AoE. He successfully erases the Poly. That's pretty good. That definitely takes a lot of forward pressure off. But now's the time for this Oboro to come out. Yeah, Straw, that was exactly my point. 3 stacks is going to be enough to smoke... Oh, almost smoke? Get him with the AoE. Enough to smoke the Gin. Okay. TJ's not in a bad position here. I mean, we do still have the Zerda with a revive, but she's hurt. We don't have any healing here. Landius is hurt. We've got a 3-stack Oboro who's transformed, and TJ still has his tank up, so there is a Zera Ball here for future use. TJ about to start running into time pressure, though, which can make the your moves at the end of the game a little bit more frantic, a little bit more debatable. Let's check that Landius. Defense down, damage dealt. Defense down, magic defense down, more importantly, since we're all magic here. So yeah, now's definitely looking like the time to hose down both lives of this Landius. Although... I don't think Luke could reach with single target. Here comes those giant flashing numbers in your face, TJ. Okay, there's one Lando down. Right, Oboro just going for the safe kill on the Golem here. Creates another Zeraball. Reduces Lucretia's range. Also takes away that free revive, so she's going to want to be hiding with Lightbringer regardless. And it is going to come down to Magic Tandem being able to combo down this Oboro and this Zerida. So because TjAce also has a Lightbringer here, he is going to be able to use that kind of turn order advantage. Uh-oh. Oh, Lucretia barely survives that with 1% HP left, and then the Reaper heals her back up. Although, that said, there's... Okay. That's fine. SaintJacques didn't need to see any more of that. Alright, so game 2 goes to TJ. Very nice. Very nice in the sense that we are going to get a game 3. Always exciting to have some sudden death. We spectated SaintJacques that time, so let's go back to TjAce this time. And we are going to have SaintJacques as player 1 this time. Let's see if there is going to be any sidebox swinging. I doubt SaintJacques is going to make any dramatic changes here. His flex box is equally good as player 1. And I don't know if he has any real inclination to like add a couple more, you know, rush options or anything like that. Potential head games being played here. Although this is not really a map that sometimes you'll see players making adjustments to their teams from the side box based on the map. Okay, so we are going to get adjustments. Oh, there's the McLean. I was wondering where he was in the last couple games. So SaintJacques brings up McLean, which is fine. McLean is always good. Also bringing up another healer. TjAce bringing up a couple more leggy options. Dropping the Polyol and Matthew. So drops a couple of the rangy AoE choices for a couple of rangy single target choices. Interesting approach. And TJ is this time banning out the Zerida. So good to see a little bit of adjustment to his ban pick strategy there. Now, of course, though, we are seeing SaintJacques making that first pick Rosenseal, which TjAce really hated the idea of in the last couple games. But he adjusts by just banning the Lightbringer and the Gintoki. He's going to let SaintJacques have one of these other two tanks that he thinks he might have an easier time busting. Landius and Hilda potentially not as oppressive with Rosenseal as a Lightbringer is. And now TJ, fully knowing that this is going to be a Cavalry Landius, doesn't feel too worried about bringing his Elwyn in. Looks like he's possibly girding himself for the idea of having to bust through the tank rather than go around the tank. But yeah, TJ's only assassin options now are the Epsilon and the D-Heart. So he does go for the Epsilon. Epsilon probably a slightly less immediately impactful choice than D-Heart, just because Epsilon needs stacks to build up before he's able to really do anything here. D-Heart can at least run in and grab a kill, even if he's not going to be stunning anything. And now D-Heart's off the table anyway, so Epsilon is going to be pretty much the only way TJ can ignore guard, and that is going to be after building up stacks. So TJ really looking to be able to get through this Landius, and hopefully be able to do that before SaintJacques punishes him. Oh, and now even that plan kind of out the window, with SaintJacques being able to lean on 2 tanks. 2 tanks with Rosen. With only Annie even having any potential AoE here, she's not really going to want to bring that because it won't have any impact against a Rosen Seal. So this is going to have to be a full single target Annie, again with the intention of possibly trying to hammer through both of SaintJacques' tanks before the D-Heart is able to kill these units. So we are kind of getting what we were expecting from Moondoggy based on main chord unit show-offery, which is a good turtle comp here. Yeah, I would be surprised. I mean, that's certainly a route, is baiting out a D-Heart and trading it. I'd be kind of surprised given this comp if SaintJacques gives that up, though. Like, he has no real reason to rush to drop units. Alright, let's see how it plays out. So AoE and Fireball there, we've got a normal D-Heart. Bringing Rout on the Landius. Okay, once again we have the passive with 1 single target skill. Double single target on the IBC. With Sand Seas as well. And this Annie is on the defensive Crystal Warlock option. Potentially hoping to bait out that D-Heart, I guess. Yeah, I'm not sure what the logic behind the gargoyles is either. Okay, so we do have the old bait and switch, Hilda main tanking as a double Lancer here now. Basically nullifying the Elwyn. And with her unique, her class change can't be dispelled. I believe it's the class change. I mean, I guess it's possible that this was the play with Gargoyles, is that he's planning on movement buffing him to be able to make an early play, but I really hope he realizes that he doesn't want to even consider doing that with no stacks. I've seen my fair share of 0-stack Epsilon plays, and it does not end well. Oh, that's the CP I'm thinking of. Yeah, you're right, Q. I have not had Hilda in my box for many moons, so... I actually legitimately thought that CP was out already. It must be coming soon, though. Really just waiting to see what the opening play here is going to be. TJ basically hoping that D-Heart decides to come out into the open to play. Even then, though, to be perfectly honest, like, even if you take the D-Heart, you still have to get through these tanks with basically a turret mage and as much healing as you want. Well, the end result of all that chatter about when her casting passive comes out, though, is that one possible way to make Elwyn not useless again is to strip her buffs with IBC and make her a Cav again so that Elwyn can start doing damage again. So the D-Heart can reach the Annie, he can reach the Epsilon. Okay, now I think he just can't reach the Annie, and that was basically just to put some damage. Yeah, no sneaky 3-move Sword Soul option on the Elwyn. That's one of those techs that I feel like everyone knows about when they're discussing it, and then no one really remembers it when it comes into a gameplay situation. Or maybe it's just because Elwyn isn't played so much anymore that you just kind of never really see it. Elwyn and Hilda are both around, but not as common as they were back when that kind of thing was happening. Okay, so the Epsilon and the Annie are both outside D Heart's range now. So not exactly baiting him. The trouble with this is that the more time that goes by, the more capable D Heart is of making a snipe like that and then just going back to guard range. Yeah, I'm not sure, Loomis, if TJ thought that was going to take a life. I don't think he thought that was going to take a life. But she doesn't, like, dispel buffs or anything, so yeah, I agree. Not 100% sure. Unless that was just to, like, apply ST heal pressure or something like that, but he doesn't even really need to worry about that either, because he's just going to be incidentally healing up with this regardless. IBC can't quite reach yet to make an attempt on that Hilda. The IBC buff will go away this turn. I guess TJ doesn't want to risk, like, the IBC going down to the D-Heart, but he does need to be able to get close enough to hit that Hilda. Alright, so here's an opening black hole. We get damage down on the IBC. No healing on TJ's side, so that's something to remember. Yeah, LB being the only one up front and center here is really kind of just begging for a black hole. The only point of even really having a unit forward like that is if it lets you pivot the rest of your team in for an attack, but TJ didn't do it. And even now, I mean, TJ's team is in range to start hitting into this Hilda this turn, so the IBC should be able to reach by attacking this. The Elwyn should be able to reach. Elwyn can heal himself up before the attack, but this IBC is pretty crippled. I mean, she'll still be able to strip, but she's definitely not killing Hilda. Yeah, I agree with you, Loomis. Passive play, unless you have a legit turtle comp, gets destroyed in this meta. Opening with the Elwyn. Doesn't dispel Lancer. Doesn't dispel Guard. So he did pop the anti-crit, but SaintJacques can get that back relatively easily by acting with Hilda. And then we will get to see if TJ is going to launch the all-out assault. Okay, no, it looks like... Okay, this is finally the D-Heart action we were looking for. But it's not being baited intentionally by TJ, it's just a dead Epsilon for sure. Stuns the IBC, so this game is more than all over. D-Heart steals the stealth invisibility as well, just to put salt in the wound. So that's not even, like, an uneven trade now for TJ. He can't take this D-Heart. He can't take the D-Heart, he can't follow up Elwyn's assault with IBC because she's stunned, so he can pretty much only just, like, re-up Elwyn's charge. But again... Alright, he's gonna bring LB back and try to reset. Oof. That big DPS Landius. Takes the first life off Elwyn. So this Elwyn's toast regardless. Stealing stuff from Epsilon is so OP. I've had Transcender steal Epsilon's shield before too, which is hilarious. Epsilon just has lots of goodies that people want to take from him. I mean, I guess AoE is still an option, and then TJ can just follow up on the D-Heart next turn. Because he will have turn priority. The problem is, if he just retreats this Elwyn, then he's insta-dead to AoE, because he won't get any of his HP back. He needs to attack something to heal. TJ gonna run out the clock entirely before finishing this match. I feel ya, I've been there. I'm one of those players who often gets myself... Alright, so he does decide just to run back. Can Annie reach him with her self-targeted AoE? Doesn't look like it. Okay, so that should be safe if TJ's Annie decides to AoE here and then Elwyn can kill the D-Heart. Although, I mean... Yeah, then she can just AoE next turn. Yeah, she can AoE next turn. Okay, there's the AoE. Yeah, that's right. Elwyn can use turn priority and go first to heal up and kill the D-Heart at the start of this turn. You're right, Absol. One of the things I love about Apex matches, though, is that after the initial, like, theoretical good plays to open a match, like, after that phase of the match is gone, then you start to get into the really messy stuff that starts happening. The weird, unexpected things like stealing stealth. And the emotional damage of having 5 seconds of backup time. Okay, so this is TJ's chance to get Elwyn healed back up, to take out that D-Heart. What? I guess hoping for a heal, like hoping that that's going to be enough incidental healing from the IBC to keep this Elwyn alive. I don't know enough about Warlock Annies to know whether this AoE is going to be enough to take that Elwyn out. Yeah, the only reason why I like the Elwyn move on D-Heart more is because it conserves your IBC skills for Hilda killing. Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily like the ultimate throw or anything like that, Taffer. Okay, so he's gonna do... This is the same play he tried before. He's softening the Hilda up with Annie here. SaintJacques breaks out the big guns. Basically nullifying anything that Annie did just there. Hilda is back in Cav mode, though. That's worth noting. I mean, I guess her guard's not up. It will be, though. Yeah, I mean, if he had had the presence of mind and the backup time to make an attempt on that Annie with Elwyn, then you're looking at a whole different game where Landius is SaintJacques' main DPS. And he is a capable DPS. But at least TJ's tank has Lancer troops. Alright, so SaintJacques opting for the safer, slightly safer option of getting the guard back up. So now it doesn't matter. Elwyn's not going to be able to one-shot the Annie. He's just going to be able to continue attempting what was his original plan, I think, of pounding through the Hilda. But I don't think you open that with Elwyn. Elwyn needs to get his HP back, though. Okay, he does strip the Lancer buff, though, so she's back to being a Cav. Looks like he strips guard, too. Where's my auto mod, anyway? Alright, TJ still has some healing coming from Gifts of Eternal Life. Yeah, there's no discipline on this at all. Is this a holdover from last game when TJ was facing Polly? He had mass resist on her for the polyol. Discipline would come in handy here. Okay, Elwyn going for attempt number 2. Fireball is back for Annie. Landius can also smoke that Elwyn. Okay, Hilda teleports forward, which isn't really a problem because Annie's still in guard range and Landius is, well, he's not guarding, he is tanky AF. IBC. Oh, IBC gets reflect killed. Oh, TJ, it was a heartbreaker. I mean, he still could have killed that. He still could have killed that Annie with the rest of his DPS. That was a messy game 3. But some very interesting stuff happened, and a good attempt. You could see TJ had a plan, and it was just a question of like when he wanted to execute it. And Moondoggy, just with the oppressive 2-tank and Rosen and long-distance DPS setup, was able to slowly move in and take out TJ's units without feeling too much of that pressure. So we have a 2-1 win for SaintJacques. SaintJacques, as I mentioned in the video description, will be moving on to face the winner of Ceui versus No Lang No Life, and I'm not sure when their match is happening. I don't think it's already happened, because I would have remembered that stream. It must be this weekend. So that will be SaintJacques versus the winner of Ceui and No Lang No Life. TjAce, thanks for coming out, thanks for the excellent games, and congratulations on making it to the elimination round, top 64. And thank you to everyone who showed up for the stream as well. Cheering on both of these players really makes a big difference, so thanks for coming, and thanks for all your chatting and armchair strategizing in the chat. Really means a lot to the players and me. So I will be hoping to stream some more matches this coming weekend and next week as well. It just depends on if people keep sleeping in when I'm supposed to be streaming their games. So stay tuned. Follow the Twitch, follow the YouTube if you haven't done so already to be notified when I start my streams. And most importantly, join the Summit der Langrisser Discord server, because that's where you'll be able to see notifications for all the streamers' streams, not just mine. Like, subscribing to me is great, but that only shows you when one streamer is streaming. So if you're not already in the Discord server, mention it in the chat. I'm sure someone will pop the Discord server invite into the chat if they need to. Otherwise, it's on the description of a lot of my Summit der Langrisser related videos and replays on YouTube. So very easy to find. Go ahead and join. There's lots of friendly people in there. Even if you're not playing in the tournament, you can watch a whole bunch of games. and you can scrim against other people who are also interested in PvP. So I highly recommend that as well. Highly recommend watching more streams on Kong's channels, and I'll catch you in the next one. Happy Langrissing, everyone.